First, I start with concealer to cover my flaws and brighten my future. I usually am in between shades because I'm in the sun a lot, so I have 2 different shades. Apply them in a Wakanda style underneath the eyes, alternating between dark and light. I'm using Too Faced Born This Way concealer because it sits really well on the skin and just looks super natural. Quick tip, a little bit of a lighter concealer just down the bridge of your nose really heightens the nose. I like to blend it all with a tapping motion with my fingers first. I feel like the warmth of the fingers really help melt the product and it just blends more seamlessly. Also, it prevents the product from being sucked up by the beauty blender. Then I'll go in with the beauty blender to blend everything else out. Remember to wet it prior to using and apply it in bouncing motions. My favorite part is bronzer, and I'm using Laguna by NARS, and it's probably been my go-to color because it's just enough warmth without coming off as reddish or dirty. It's really pigmented and buildable, so be light-handed when you are applying, and I like to bronze along my forehead and slightly underneath my cheekbones and also my nose, just to make it a little bit pointier. The goal isn't to look completely snatched because I'm trying to look natural because I'm very much into that whole she's born this way look. For blush, I'm using Orgasm by NARS. The name's pretty crude, but the color is just every natural girl's dream. It looks almost undetectable, especially since I'm quite tan. And I find a lot of pink blushes look clownish on me. So I apply it slightly above the bronzer and I tend to put it upwards to lift my face. Now moving on to the most unfortunate part of my face, my brows. Well, I don't have much to work with, so I usually just follow the shape of my natural brows and fill them in where the hairs are sparse. So with really light strokes. A quick tip, I use mascara to enhance the brow hairs, to make them look a bit fuller and fluffier. So just brush them upwards and really lightly. Voila! Next we're going to do eyeshadow, but I'll just use my bronzer as an all over lid color. I think people on YouTube call this like a transition shade. But that's kind of like my everything shade, so. I got this brush in Thailand and honestly, it's very similar to one of the MAC brushes, but it's almost just cheap, but it works just as well. Now I'm using Tarlette. I think this is the original palette, so this is not the Bloom or the Naked. I think it's the Heat palette. I'm not too sure because I haven't really been to Sephora for a while. So I apply a darker brown shade on the outer corners of my eyes. And also a little bit down my nose, so everything matches. Curl my lashes. I'm using a mascara by Maybelline. I generally feel all their mascaras are pretty good, but this one really helps with curl. It's Maybelline's Hyper Curl. They're usually always on sale on Watson's or Guardian, so. And it's waterproof, which is super important. And I'm using a mascara from Face Shop for my bottom lashes because it has a tiny wand. Now for eyeliner. I'm really bad with eyeliner and I only learned how to do it this year. So what I usually do is just wing the corner of my eyes. I tend to want to extend that line. Then I'll use the lightest shade to do a subtle highlight. Now we're gonna do the hair. I'm using the wave spray from Way. So I've heard tons of YouTubers rave about this, including Jenim, and I feel like it really works with my hair. Also, powder, because we want to set all the hard work that we've done, and I tend to get a little bit oilier in the day. We want dewy but not greasy. I'm using Innisfree No Sebum Mineral Powder. Also, I'm going to add a lip color. There's plenty from Elianto, and they're really cheap, so I highly recommend. If you can get away with not wearing foundation, then just use concealer, because I feel in general it helps with photos because you won't get a white cast or flashbacks. Plus it looks great in the sun, so enjoy!